Hi, it's Friday on Polyglots of the Week, and we are still talking about tips and tricks for studying. And I'm going to start off with tips that help you before I go into some of the things I do in my practice. I'm going to agree with Ben and Sophia's videos earlier this week. Everybody learns differently, so if you have something that works for you, do it. If something is just driving you up the wall, it's making it feel like a chore, don't do it. Find something that works for you that keeps you motivated. One of the polyglots this week earlier said that setting small goals for yourself is a way to keep you motivated and a way to not burn out quite as quickly if you're studying every day. That can be kind of challenging. So like David, I am signed up for the JLPT in December, and earlier this summer I took the HSK, which is a language test for Chinese. So it's a good way to gauge your level, and it's a way to motivate you because there's a deadline, and for me in particular, deadlines work because I need to know there's an end date. So Eddie, I'm gonna have to disagree with you about censored broadcasts, especially when you don't understand what's being said. I find that the Chinese broadcasts, which are incredibly censored, I will not argue, are one of the best ways to practice pronunciation because it's a very standardized dialect, which if you memorize is easy for people to understand. And on Tuesday, David said that it was hard to find people to speak with, and I just wanted to mention the sites italki, Shared Talk, and Lang 8 are good resources to find somebody to talk with, either over Skype or on Lang 8 to be able to type something out and have a native speaker, native reader read over what you've written and correct it and help you with your grammar. So there's a lot of resources online if you're not able to find those resources in your town. Depending on how rare your language is, you can also go out into your community and go to some local restaurants or stores, and I guess this is kind of a Moses McCormick thing, but kind of interact with the shop owners, I guess. Like, buy a meal or buy something from the store and then bring it up casually in conversation, like, oh, well, where are you from, and do you speak this, and then try saying something in that language. And sometimes they're not going to be interested, but sometimes it'll lead to a great little conversation. Particularly in Chinese restaurants, if you can speak a little Cantonese or Mandarin, you can usually get things that aren't on the menu. If there's a university local to you, there's probably a large international population, and if you go to that office, they're usually looking for people to help them practice their English, because many people are coming to the US right now, and I believe to the UK, because the company I work for is based out of 8 universities in the UK, so I'm not leaving you out, Ben, who are coming here to study English, and I find those friendships last a long time, and if you're willing to help them with their English, they're usually super excited if you are learning their language. So that has helped me immensely. My motivation seems to come with having people to practice with, and if I don't have people to practice with, my motivation goes way down, which is actually entirely why I started studying Arabic, is because I had so many people to practice with. But my Arabic is still really low because I don't have formal instruction. I also study how Ben does. I study in huge chunks, and then I spend a couple of days absorbing that before I'm ready to study again, which is a little bit weird, but I do— Eddie, I'm sorry, I've forgotten what you called it. It's not passive learning, but it's surrounding yourself with the language. My Korean pronunciation is apparently getting better because I listen to Korean all the time. My car rarely plays English language music. I listen to a lot of Korean, Japanese, and Chinese music, and most of the TV I watch is also Korean. Remind yourself why you're studying the language, I guess, and keep doing what you're doing. I don't know if any of today's video was helpful to you, but next week we will be talking about what we are studying either on our own or in our universities. See you all next week. Annyeong!